Hello students. In the previous lecture we did the case of simply supported beam with the point load at the center. In that case obtaining the reactions at the supported ends A and B was straightforward because the reaction at A and reaction at B were both equal to half of the load applied at the center because the load was shared at both the ends. But in case if the load is not being applied at the center but it is off center, like in the case as shown here there is a point load of W magnitude applied at point C, which is at a distance small a from the end A and at the distance small b from the end B. So now this load is not at the center, so therefore we need to determine the reactions of the support at point A and B, which we call them as RA and RB. Now to determine the reaction, we know that the sum of the reaction will be equal to the applied load, so RA plus RB will be equal to W. So this one equation we know. Now in order to determine the second equation between the reactions, we need to take the moment. So we will take the moment of the load about the point B. So about the point B, the reaction force RA is at the distance L, so the moment about point B will be RA into L. So this will be the reaction of the this will be the moment of the reaction at point A. Now this reaction moment is in the clockwise direction, so it is in the clockwise fashion. Now there is another load that is acting here, that is the applied point load. It is at a distance small b from the end B, so its reaction will its moment will be W into B. Okay, but now this moment is in anti-clockwise direction, so it should come here with the negative sign because the reaction B is acting at point B itself, so its distance from its own point will be 0, so there will not be any moment created because of the reaction B. So that is our moment reaction. Now the sum of the moment should be equal to 0 because for the equilibrium condition, so we get RA into L minus W into B equal to 0. This provides us the value of reaction force RA as WB by L. Once we have got the reaction at A, we can use the equation 1 to determine the reaction at B. So we substitute the value of RA in the equation 1 and we get this equation here, and from that we can obtain the RB as W into A by L. So now we know both these reactions from the equation 2 and 3. These reactions are known to us, so we can go ahead and find the shear force values along the length of the beam. So for the shear force diagram, we will write the equation for the shear force first for the segment AC. So we are talking about the span AC here, and let's assume the beam to be cut somewhere between A and C, and let's say it is having a distance x from the left end, it is from point A. So in that case, if we cut the beam at this point, we know there is only reaction force RA acting on this part, so your shear force equation Fx will be equal to simply RA, that is equal to WB by L. And as it is not dependent on x value, so at both extreme ends of the segment AC, that means for x equal to 0 and x equal to A, its value is going to remain same as WB by L. Now if we write the equation for the segment CB, we need to assume the beam to be cut somewhere between C and B. So let's say that the beam is cut, let's say here. Okay, so we assume that the beam is cut somewhere here, and this is the distance x from the left end, and let's look what are the forces acting on the left hand side of this portion where the beam is cut. So there is a reaction force RA and there is applied force W acting in opposite direction. So our shear force equation will be simply RA minus W. So if we substitute the value of RA WB by L minus W, it's going to give the shear force value as minus WA by L. Okay, because you know that B minus L will be equal to minus A, right? Because A plus B is equal to L. From the diagram we can see that A plus B value will be equal to L here. Now again it is not dependent on x, so its value at the both extreme end at x equal to A and x equal to L, that means FC and FB both will be equal to minus WA by L. Now we will draw the shear force diagram for the beam, and we'll start from the end A, and we see that at x equal to 0 this value is equal to WB by L. So here let's start drawing it. Because of our sign convention that we have used, this is a positive shear force, so we'll draw it above the reference axis. Dear students, please know that this sign convention which I have been using is one kind, but you can have the completely opposite sign convention to what I have been proposing here, and the different books that you will see will be proposing different kind of sign convention. So it doesn't matter, but you should know that if we draw one thing on the positive side, the opposite of it will be the negative side. So here if I have taken this as a positive, so minus WAL is on the other side of the reference axis, right? So first let me draw the value at point A. I will choose certain scale. I will draw the WB by L value at point A. Then I see up at C also it is having WB by L, so the value will remain constant, so it will go by a horizontal line. So at both these points it is same. Then I see at point C it gets changed from WB by L to minus WA by L, so there will be vertical drop here from WB by L to the minus WA by L, and then up to point B it remains same, so again a horizontal line. So this is my shear force diagram that I will be getting. So I see it is changing from WB by L to minus WA by L exactly at the point where I am applying this point load. Now let's calculate the bending moment diagram for this beam, and for calculating the bending moment we need to multiply the force value with the distance value. So if I assume the beam to be cut between A and C somewhere here at a distance x from the point A, so my moment will be, simply because there is only one force RA acting here, so RA into x will be the moment here that will be acting between AC. Now at x equal to 0 this moment will be 0, and at x equal to A this moment is going to be RA into A small a, so RA is WB by L, so it becomes W into AB by L. Now I write the equation for the bending moment between portions C and B. So I assume the beam to be cut somewhere between C and B. Now this is my x. So the first moment that will be acting will be RA into x in a clockwise fashion, so it will be in clockwise fashion here. Then there will be moment because of the applied force point W, point load W, and that will be W multiplied by this distance, the distance between the cut section and the point where the load W is applied. So this distance is nothing but x minus small a, because x is the distance from here to this cut section, and this load W is at a distance small a from this fixed end, so rather the supported end. So the distance of load W will be from the cut section as x minus a. So that's why I get the equation of my bending moment as RA into x, which is applied in a clockwise fashion, and W into x minus a, which is the anti-clockwise movement applied in a opposite direction, so minus W into x minus a. So this is my equation here. When I evaluated it for the two extreme ends of the section CB, that means at x equal to small a, its value will turn out to be W into AB by L, same as I obtained earlier for the segment say AC, and at x is equal to L, this is going to give me bending moment as 0. Now it is turn for us to draw the bending moment diagram. So I start with the value 0 here. So exactly At 0 I am going to start. Now where should I plot it? On the positive reference axis or negative? As I told you, the sign convention I have used says that if the beam is flexing like making a smiley shape, or in other words I can say the top surface is in compression and the bottom surface is in tension, we are going to assume this as a positive bending moment. So for bending moment it is a positive sign convention. So I am going to draw it on the positive side of the reference axis. So value at point C is WAB by L. So I mark the value here. From 0 to WAB by L, because there is a linear relationship between x and the bending moment for the equation, because the equation is RA into x. So there will be a straight up ramp here from 0 to WAB by L. So there is a straight line coming over here, and up to point B it is again getting 0. So there will be again downhill, there is a down slope, and again because there is a linear relationship from this equation we can see, so there will be a straight line appearing here from WAB by L to 0. So this is going to be my bending moment diagram. Now once we have understood the way to find the reactions for a simply supported beam, and we have also seen that how we are going to calculate the shear force and bending moment for the applied load. And let's start for the bit more complex case where multiple loads are acting, multiple point loads are acting at different locations of a beam. So here the beam AB, which is simply supported, is being applied with 3 point loads, and they are of 10 kilonewton, 20 kilonewton and 10 kilonewton. You see this beam is applied load in a very symmetrical fashion. So I could have straight away identified the value of RA and RB, because you see their distances are even equal. So they are at equal distance they are acting. So I know that RA plus RB will be equal to 40 kg. So one equation is clear here. RA plus RB equal to 10 plus 20 plus 10. So that becomes 40 kg. And they both reactions are going to be equal. So I beforehand I know that RA is going to be 20 kilonewton and RB will be equal to 20 kilonewton. But let's still, for the sake of doing it by the method, let's find out the moment of these forces about point B. So RA is at a distance of 4 meter from the point B. So RA into 4. This is the first expression. This is the only only the clockwise movement that is acting. Rest of the movements that will be acting on the beam will be in the anti-clockwise fashion because of the applied forces. And then we go and talk about the next force, that is 10 kilonewton. So it is acting at a 3 meter distance, so that's why you get minus 10 into 3. Then the second force is 20 kilonewton. This is acting at a 2 meter distance, so minus 20 into 2. Then there is a 10 kilonewton load acting at a 1 meter distance, so 10 into 1. So this equation is going to give you RA value as 20 kilonewton and RB value as 20 kilonewton. Now for the shear force diagram, we will take each of these segments as I have told you earlier. So we will take the AC, CD, DE and EB segments respectively. And in these segments we are going to determine our shear force equation. So for each of these cases we will assume the beam to be cut somewhere between the segment that we are considering. Like for AC it is cut somewhere here, and then we will consider the forces that are acting on the left side of this cut section. So in the segment AC there is only reaction force RA acting, so our shear force equation Fx will be equal to RA only, and that equals to 20 kilonewton. It is not dependent on x, so at both the extreme segments of this particular part, at x equal to 0 and x equal to 1, you are going to evaluate the value of shear force F at A is equal to 20, F at C equal to 20. Then you go and do the same exercise and assume the beam to be cut somewhere between C and D. Draw the free body diagram for the left hand segment of this beam, and then you see that there are only two forces. One is RA and another is 10 kilonewton in the opposite direction that are acting. So shear force equation will be RA minus 10. So RA's value is 10, so this becomes 10 kilonewton. Again it is not dependent on x, so at both the ends its value is going to be 10 kilonewton only. FC and FD is equal to 10 kilonewton. Similarly, you can further go on, cut the beam between D and E, and for the segment DE you can see that there are three forces, RA minus 10, minus 20, and hence you calculate the value to be minus 10 kilonewton here for the Fx. Now the value has changed from positive to negative, you can notice that. So Fd and Fe both value will be minus 10 kilonewton by this equation. Then for the segment EB, you assume the beam to cut at the middle of E and B, somewhere at any point between E and B, and then there are three forces in the downward direction, one force RA in the upward direction. So equation will be RA minus 10, minus 20, minus 10, so that gives you minus 20 kilonewton. At E and B both the value of shear force will be minus 20 and minus 20 kilonewton. Now we will draw the shear force diagram using the values that we have got for the shear force. So at point A, I will plot the value as 20 kilonewton here. Then up to point C, it remains 20. So from 20 to 20, I see here, this is the line that I am getting. Okay. Here we go 20, and then horizontally we go 20. Then at point C, we see that the equation shows that the value drops from 20 to 10 kilonewton. So here there is a vertical drop here. So the value of shear force reduces at point C from 20 to 10 kilonewton. Then up to point D, it remains as 10 kilonewton. So I will plot it a horizontal line here. So this is my horizontal line showing that it remains 10 kilonewton. Then at point D, from the other side, I have calculated the value of shear force as minus 10. So from 10 it reduces to minus 10 here. So there is a drop of 20 kilonewton here, positive 10 to minus 10, and then it remains up to the point E as minus 10. So there will be a horizontal line. Then at point E, it changes the value to minus 10 to minus 20. So again there is a vertical drop. Then it remains minus 20 up to point B. So there is a horizontal line. So in this way I have plotted my shear force diagram here, and now we will calculate the bending moment for it. Bending moment is force multiplied by the distance. Again you need to assume the beam to be cut at different locations. So like between A and C it is cut, and you see there is only force RA, it is acting at a distance x from the cut section. So our first equation will be simply RA into x. You substitute the value of x equal to 0 and x equal to 1 for the segment AC, and you calculate the value of bending moment at ends A and C as 0 and 20 kilonewton meter respectively. Then you write the equation for the segment CD here by assuming the beam to be cut somewhere between C and D. So there are two forces, RA in upward direction, which will causing a clockwise movement, RA into x, and then there will be anti-clockwise movement because of the force 10 kilonewton acting here. The distance of load 10 kilonewton will be equal to x minus 1. So that's why you get minus 10 into x minus 1 here. And then you evaluate this equation for the x equal to 1 and x equal to 2 for the both ends C and D, and you get the value of MC as 20 kilonewton meter and MD is equal to 30 kilonewton meter. Then next section will come and you cut the beam between D and E. So there will be reaction force RA into x. Then next one is minus 10 into x minus 1 that we have already discussed. The new force that has appeared is 20 kilonewton. So because of that, again there will be anti-clockwise movement, and its distance from the cut section will be x minus 2. This is because 20 kilonewton load is at 2 meter distance from the left end, and the cut section is at x meter distance from the left end or the point A. So the movement will be force 20 into multiplied by the distance x minus 2, and when we put the value of x equal to 2 and x equal to 3 for the extreme ends, we get the value of MD and ME as 30 and 20 kilonewton meter. You can keep on going, and then you see if you cut it between E and B, there will be three forces and the three movements in the anti-clockwise direction. Two were already there in the previous equation. The new one that has appeared is minus 10 into x minus 3. You evaluate this equation at x equal to 3 and 4. So you find that x equal to 3, it will be ME will be equal to 20 kilonewton meter, and finally at MB equal to 0. Now we are going to plot it, and for the bending moment diagram, as I have already told you, the application of load will cause the beam to flex in a kind of a smiley shape, which is positive for me, and we are going to plot it on the positive side of the reference axis. We start from the point A where it is 0, and then we go to the point C, and at point C the value is 20 kilonewton meter. Between A and C, because the equation is showing a linear relationship there, so there will be a straight line or ramp up here. Then from point C to D, the value changes from 20 to 30 kilonewton meter. So there will be again a straight line relationship because the equation is linearly dependent on x. So from 30 it reduces to 20 kilonewton meter. So from 30 to 20 again with a linear relationship, so there will be a straight line joining 30 and 20, and finally from 20 to 0, and you again come to the other end, and from 20 it reduces to 0. So this is our bending moment diagram. You must have noticed that at simply supported beam, in all the cases at the supported ends the bending moment will be 0, right? At point A and point B the bending moments are 0. Now let's take the next variety of the case, that is the simply supported beam with the uniformly distributed load. So what happens in this case is that the whole beam is considered to be loaded with the uniformly distributed load of W kilonewton per unit length, or that means W kilonewton per meter. Now first thing that we need to do is to find the reactions RA and RB. So because this beam is completely loaded, so all this load is supported by RA and RB equally. So the total load that is acting on the beam is the W kilonewton per meter multiplied by the length of the beam. So W into L is the amount of load that is acting on the beam, as it will be supported equally by point A and point B. So the net reaction that I will be getting at A and B will be W into L by 2. Now for drawing the shear force diagram, we need to assume the beam to be cut at some section, as I have shown here that this beam is cut at, let's say, CC dash section, which is at a distance x from the left end. We draw the free body diagram of the beam left hand section here separately, and we can see here that the reaction force RA is acting in the upward direction here in this portion of the beam, and then there is a applied load, uniformly distributed load of W magnitude acting in the downward direction. So the net force that is acting because of this UDL is the W multiplied by the distance on which it is acting, that is small x. So therefore our shear force reaction will be here given by RA minus W into x, because Wx, the load, is acting in the opposite direction to the reaction. Now we got this equation, we substitute the value of RA here, which is WL by 2. We got this our equation for Fx for the beam. We evaluate this beam for both the extreme ends, that is x equal to 0 and x equal to L. We find that at x equal to 0 the value is WL by 2, and when we substitute x equal to L the value changes to minus WL by 2. So somewhere in between it is going to get 0, because it is coming from positive to negative side of the shear force. So obviously this is a very symmetrically loaded beam, it will be at the center there, it will is going to 0. We can verify it by substituting at the value of x equal to L by 2. So once we substitute x equal to L by 2 in the shear force equation, we get the Fc as 0, or the value of shear force at center as 0. We can plot this value of the shear force. So at A it is going to be WL by 2, at B it is going to minus WL by 2. In between these two it is a straight line which is connecting these 2 points. So you join them by the straight line, you find that at the center it is going to be the value as 0, and which we have already verified with the help of equation as well. Now for the bending moment diagram, we need to multiply the forces with the distances. So again let's have a look here. This is our free body diagram for the cut section, So we have a reaction force Ra acting here. So Ra multiplied by x will be the clockwise clockwise movement that will be acting here. So that's why our shear force equation will have Ra into x in the clockwise direction. Then we have a movement because of the applied force WUDL, and as I have told you earlier also that the UDL can be considered for the sake of finding the moment as a point load acting exactly at the middle of the distance where it is acting. So my force that is acting here is W into x if I consider it as a point load. So my W into x is the load that is acting here, and it can be considered to be acting exactly at the middle of it, the segment. So that means at a distance of x by 2 from the cut section. So Wx multiplied by x by 2 is going to give us the moment force multiplied by the distance. So Wx square by 2 will be the net value of this moment. And now this moment is in anti-clockwise fashion, and the reaction force movement is in the clockwise fashion, so there should be a negative sign between these two. So that's why we have got this negative sign here. We substitute the value of Ra in this equation, and we got our equation for the bending moment. We will evaluate this equation at x equal to 0 and x equal to L. We will find that the bending moment are 0 at both the ends, as I have told you in the case of simply supported beam. At both the extremities, at both the supports, our bending moment is going to be 0, and it is going to be maximum somewhere between them. So I substitute x equal to L by 2 here and find the value to be as WL square by 8 as the maximum bending moment that is being calculated. You see, whenever the shear force is 0, your bending moment is going to be maximum. So this is one observation you can see here. We will discuss about this in detail further on when we will see the relationship between the shear force and bending moment. At the moment it is enough to understand that whenever shear force goes 0, your bending moment becomes maximum, and that's why, because shear force was 0 at exactly at the middle, so our bending moment is maximum also at the middle of the beam. Now let's take the another case where the simply supported beam is loaded with the uniformly distributed load, but not over the entire span but rather on a portion of a span. So this is the beam of 6 meter length that you can see here, AB, and it is loaded up to only point C, that is the 2 meter distance from the left end, by a load of 2 kilonewton per meter. Now first thing that we need to do is to find the reactions. So let's find the reaction Ra and Rb. So Ra plus Rb net sum will be equal to the applied load, that is W load is applied at the for the distance of 2 meters. So W into 2, we substitute the value of small w, that is 2 kilonewton per meter. So you get the Ra plus Rb as 4 kilonewton. Next thing that we will do is to find the moment in order to find the reactions. So let's take the moment about point B. So we are finding the moment about point B. So Ra into 6, because 6 meter is the distance about which the reaction force Ra is acting. So Ra into 6, and then the opposite movement will be load that is acting. Load is 2 into W. 2 meter is the length, W is the applied load, so 2 into W is the total load that is acting as a point load if you consider it, and it can be assumed to be acting exactly at the middle of it. So this position is at a distance of 5 meter from the fixed end, so that's why 2 into W into 5 will appear here. So this equation will give us Ra equal to 10 by 3 kilonewton and Rb will be equal to 2 by 3 kilonewton. Next thing is to find the shear force diagram, and for the shear force we are going to consider two segments. One is AC where the load is applied, another is CB where the load is not being applied. So first let's consider the between AC and assume the beam to be cut somewhere at the middle. As we did in earlier case, there will be the force of reaction acting in the upward direction minus W into X is the load that is acting in the downward direction. X is the length of the left hand segment of this portion where the beam is cut. So W into X is the force that is acting in the downward direction. You substitute the value x equal to 0 and x equal to 2 for the two ends of A and C, and evaluate the value of shear force at point A and C as 10 by 3 and minus 2 by 3. Then you assume the beam to cut somewhere between C and B. So here the shear force that are acting will be reaction force RA, and the another force, because between C and B the entire load of 2 into W, 2 is the length and W is the applied load, UDL. So 2 into W will be acting, so RA into minus 2 into W will be acting in for the entire segment of C and B. You substitute the value of RA and W here and you get the Fx as minus 2 by 3, which is going to remain same because it is not dependent on x. So it will be for both the ends x equal to 2 and x equal to 6. That means for point C and point B it is going to be minus 2 by 3. Now the time comes for us to draw the shear force diagram. So at point A we draw as shear force as 10 by 3 first. Then for point C, corresponding to point C, the distance, I am going to draw the value as shear force as minus 2 by 3. So this is my minus 2 by 3 on the opposite side of the reference axis. And between these 2 points, there will be linear relationships joining the line joining the 10 by 3 point and minus 2 by 3. This will be a straight line. So this is a straight line here. You see, while it is going from 10 by 3 to minus 2 by 3, it will somewhere cross the point 0. So shear force will be 0 somewhere between A and C. I really don't know at the moment where it is going to be 0. Now next thing is to draw the bending moment diagram. Of course it will remain, the shear force will remain minus 2 by 3, same up to the point B. So there will be horizontal line appearing here just for the sake of completeness of my argument. Now let's calculate the bending moment. For the bending moment, again we assume the two segments AC and CB. Take the beam to be cut somewhere between A and C. Draw the moments of the forces, write the moment of the forces. RA into X minus WX is the force that is acting, and we can assume to act it at half the distance of where it is acting from the center. Exactly at the center you can assume to be acting to it. So there will be distance of x by 2. So RA into x minus WX square by 2 will appear here. You evaluate this equation for both x equal to 0 and x equal to 2. So that gives you the value of MA equal to 0 and MC equal to 8 by 3, which is nothing but 2.66. We can write the equation for the segment CB. So once we assume the beam to cut somewhere here between C and B, this distance is here x. So RA into x will be the first moment that is acting. Because of the applied load W per unit length, which is acting at a distance of 2 meters, so there will be force of 2 into W acting here in the downward direction. The distance of it, as I told you earlier, that we can assume to be make it acting as exactly as a point load at the center of this span of 2 meter. So that means it will be acting at a distance of x minus 1 meter, that is here appearing here. So x minus 1 meter will appear here in this equation. When you substitute x equal to 2, you get the value of MC as 8 by 3 as we have obtained earlier, and MB will be 0. Now between reaching from 0 to 8 by 3 and coming back to the 0, there will be a parabolic variation because of this x square term here appearing here. So there will be a parabolic term here, this is the parabola here, and then after that there will be a straight line. So you see there is a straight line appearing here, but because there is a parabola here from reaching from 0 to 8 by 3 value, the value is getting, bending moment is getting maximum somewhere before this point C. And as I told you earlier, whenever the shear force is 0, the bending moment is maximum. So in order to find at what point the bending moment is getting maximum in this span and what is the value of the maximum bending moment, I need to equate my shear force equation 1 equal to 0, because this is the equation for the span AC. So I need to find at what value of x my shear force is 0. So I make this equation equal to 0. So here I make RA minus W into x equal to 0. This gives me x value as RA by W, which is nothing but 5 by 3 meter. So now from this equation I know that x equal to 5 by 3 meter, my shear force will be 0. And what will be the value of the maximum bending moment? I am going to substitute the value of x equal to 5 by 3 meter for the bending moment equation of the span AC, which is Rax minus Wx square by 2. So if I substitute x equal to 5 by 3 here, my maximum bending moment is evaluated as 2.77 or 25 by 9 meter kilonewton meter. So this value you see is higher than the value that we have evaluated for the point C. So this is the max value of the bending moment and it reaches before the point C, and this is a parabola and this is a straight line. We must remember that. Now this brings us to the end of this portion. We'll do in the next lecture some more numericals on the simply supported beam.